Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Voices with your host, Derek Stephen Prince. And now, today's guest, Josh Martin.
My man, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Cheers!
I'm better now.
There we go.
Salud.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know what Josh is drinking this evening, it is an El Fiero.
Perfect, beautiful R's.
El Fiero.
El Fiero. After a few of them, I start screaming that in the bar, and they cut me off.
Nice.
Mission accomplished, right?
Right, exactly. So, for those of you guys who are just joining us, this is Behind the Voices. I am Derek Stephen Prince. Your guest, Josh Martin, who is a voiceover actor extraordinaire, is not only a voiceover actor, but is also a bass guitarist for a band that is, if I'm remembering this correctly from a last conversation we had, is like a tribute band to the Beastie Boys. Is that correct?
It is. It's a tribute band. The original Beastie Boys tribute band, Ryman and Steelin'.
The original. How do you now?
Yes.
How do you claim that? Like, how do you?
Well,
do you guys have to do research?
11 years ago, when we started, there was nobody out. There was nobody else out there.
Okay.
I'll take it back. There was a couple of splashes around the country.
Yeah.
But they weren't doing it, and they had no intention of doing it to the level that we intended to do it.
Right.
So
nice.
we planted the flag.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our original band now. So yeah, and we made sure as well to earn that spot to make sure we keep it, and so far so good.
Yeah. As far as your band name, did you guys register that? How far did you guys go?
We're an LLC.
You are
Liability Corporation. Yes, indeed.
Wow, fancy.
Yes,
okay. And for a while, you guys,
everybody.
I mean, that's how you were making some of your income, right?
Yes, yes. For a good while, I was actually when the guys called me about it. My wife was pregnant with twins.
Who are now what age? 11?
11. 11. Yeah, exactly.
So 11 years ago.
I forget.
Okay.
Exactly. I was sure that my wife was going to go, oh, well, that's a cute idea. Now, let's go be pregnant. You know what I mean? I thought, there's no way. But I should have known better, because I got the best wife ever.
Yeah.
For me, and she asked me after I got off the phone, who was that? I said, well, it's some guys from Ad Libs in Dallas, and they asked me to be in a Beastie Boys tribute band. And I'm just waiting, I'm waiting for all of the pots and pans.
Yeah.
All of it. And she goes, oh my gosh, you're going to do it, right? And I went,
wow.
Yeah? With a convincing question mark,
right
at the end.
Exactly.
Yes. But yeah, she's always been supportive of me. She continues to be. She was at that point, and sure enough, 11 years later, we're still doing that. And I was raising kids, and that was like my outlet.
Yeah.
Before that, I was in a comedy troupe, improv, sketch, music, comedy, since '95.
Wow.
And our last show was in 2009.
Yeah.
The last comedy show that I did was in... Actually, no, it was 2013. We did a one-off.
Okay.
In 2013. But anyway, it was, I was just doing Ryman and Steelin' for a while.
Yeah.
But we still do it. course, the pandemic has slowed things down.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'm in good company.
But
as far as that goes,
are you?
Everyone is out.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Are you? So, have you been keeping in touch with the band? Do you guys do video chats?
Oh yeah.
Do you guys do practice sessions on video?
We do. We actually did. We haven't done any practice sessions with we haven't figured out the lag yet. And then when you're rapping and queuing off of people, it's kind of and trying to use the tempo. It's a weird deal. There are some technologies, but we've done it enough at this point that when we get back together, when it gets ready for the show, then we go through the show, we refresh, and then we're ready to do it. So that's not as important. But right after all this started, we did all record separately. So What You Want, a Beastie Boys song,
right?
And we recorded all of our parts separately to one basic click track.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I edited them all together. I put all 9 of us
right. Oh,
on the screen and synced us all up. And yeah, it was fun.
So there's 9 people?
There is a 9-person version. Yes.
Okay.
We normally we have 2 versions. We have the 3 MCs and 1 DJ version.
Right.
The 4-person version, and then we have the 3 MCs, 1 DJ, and 5-person live band.
Oh wow! Version. Okay, cool.
So when we're by ourselves, we'll just do like Sabotage with instruments at the end, and then I'll step in and play bass.
Right.
When we have the whole band with us, my man on bass is pretty tight, so I just go ahead and I stay with the microphone on those gigs.
Now, when did you start playing guitar? How long ago?
Ooh, I want to say 13.
When you were 13
years old, my dad had a classical guitar that my mom gave him for their anniversary. Mm-hmm. Their first first Valentine's Day. That's what it was. First Valentine's Day, and you know, when I got to 13, I was into Van Halen, 1984.
Yeah.
You know, MTV was jumping off, and so I was like, ooh, okay, I do want to play with that.
Right.
Let me see.
Yeah.
And so, of course, the opposite of what I wanted to play was available because I had this classical guitar, and so trying to play Eruption, or at least starting, wasn't in my wheelhouse yet. So I did have a Simon and Garfunkel music book that I learned all the horrible full chords. Yeah, I still hate B sustain 4. What is that? Who invented that thing? Anyway. But I can sing it a lot better than I can play it. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
But yeah, that was my start, and then along the way, I've picked it up a little bit here and there. I've never had a lot of great, crazy instruments, so my playing has been at the mercy of supply, or some kind musician who isn't like, you ain't touching my bass. Right.
And are any of your daughters interested in instruments or music or voiceovers or anything like that?
They all are musical. They all like music. The oldest daughter, she was playing violin at a young age, and she could make a note on a trumpet.
Oh, okay.
When she was like 3 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her not one thing. She just picked the thing up and
just started going.
Just puckered those lips and went,
wow. Okay.
Of course, now she is too cool for school, and she's a cheerleader. So we don't play many instruments anymore.
Yeah.
One of the twins is kind of a little more creative and artsy. So we'll see how all that goes,
Yeah, totally.
If it's in you, you're gonna do it. No matter
Absolutely,
what someone
yeah.
tells you or doesn't do for you, or eventually you're gonna be like, I'm doing this.
That is the theme this week so far. I thought it would be fun, as I mentioned to you earlier before we started. We're going to have a little fun, everybody. So, what we're going to do is allow somebody to participate with Josh and me. I don't know what the name of this game is actually called. I don't know that it ever actually had a name. But when I did improv a while back, probably the same time you were doing improv, there was this one game that we did where somebody shouts out a word. It has to be a common word, like a word you'd hear in a song. It can't be some obscure word, like pusillanimous. That ain't gonna cut it. But some some regular word that you'd hear in a lyrics or a title of a song. Somebody can just post that here on your chat. And then when you post that, if we decide that word will work, then whoever gets the inspiration to think of a song with that word, we're going to start singing that song. And then Josh and I are going to play off of each other, and we're going to catch another word while that person's singing the lyrics and come up with a completely other song and just start singing that. And then we're going to just bounce off of each other until we just get tired of it. So I thought that would be fun to do. Let you guys participate. Just have a little fun right now. So chocolate. Can we do something with chocolate?
Sure.
Okay. Can you think of something? Because I'm blanking on chocolate.
Oh yeah. The Japanese baby metal band.
I don't know that.
Give me chocolate. I don't know the words in English or Japanese, but I know the tune. It's pretty awesome. That's not helping this improv game, is it?
Not really.
All right,
power. Power. How about power?
Power. I got the power. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know the song? Yeah.
Kind of. Just keep singing that if you don't know any of the other lyrics.
Fight the power. Fight the power. Come on, fight the power. Fight the powers that be.
Oh, no. I don't really want to fight. I don't want to fight no more. Let's sleep on it tonight. I don't really want to fight no more. This is time for letting go. Ooh.
Yes. Who is that?
Tina Turner.
Oh, yes. Tina. Oh, I love me some Tina.
Anything from that?
I don't wanna Oh, she's good.
Nothing inspirational from that.
We need a form. We need a form of the song.
A form of a song.
How about country? Well, okay, we're gonna do this. Let's do this as a country song.
Oh, okay.
Real easy couplets, or a quatrain.
Okay.
And what's the next line? What's the next suggestion?
Let's see. Sleep.
Sleep. I go to bed early most every night, but sometimes I can't sleep. Something ain't right.
I look up in the sky and I count all the sheep, and eventually I will go to sleep. Oh Lord, won't you help me? I'm counting my sheep.
Yes. We just wrote a new song, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome. Oh, Lord, I'm counting my sheep.
I'm counting my sheep.
The funny thing is, there probably is a country song titled.
There probably is some in the history of country. There has to be.
Gotta be right.
Oh my God. Funny. Candy. Can you think of a song with Candy in it?
Candy.
Oh, you know what?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's try. Let's try.
Moved on from country, huh?
Oh yeah. Blues.
How about a genre? Somebody give me a genre.
A blues.
Blues
with Candy.
I ate too much candy.
Oh, no,
I felt so much sicker than I ever did before. When I was drinking hard liquor. Go ahead.
No. And I hit the floor. And I smelled in front of me. Oh, and I saw something with nuts in it. A big chocolate bar.
It was covered in chocolate. It melted in my hands. So I took it back to rehearsal and I shared it with the other guys in the band.
Ooh, yeah, I got chocolate with nuts. Chocolate with nuts.
With nuts is my favorite candy. Are people just inundating your inbox with suggestions?
No, not really.
No, that was it? Okay.
You know, they did mention chocolate a couple times, so I thought, I'd use that. So, there you go.
Yeah, well, it comes.
So, those of you guys, the stuff that you have done, as I did some research, before our interview today, and I've had plenty of time to do it because we were supposed to do this last week.
Technology.
But that didn't happen. We won't talk about that. But anyway, the stuff that I did research, dude, like you have just been blessed with getting some extraordinary stuff, like just, dropped in your lap. And I mean, obviously you worked for it, right? It didn't just come to you, all of it, but I mean, some major roles, dude. I mean, Majin Buu in the Dragon Ball franchise, right?
Yes.
Picardy in Hetalia, Mason in FMA, and ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please, one of the original voices for Barney in Barney and Friends.
Oh, wah, wah. Sorry, I have to correct you. That's incorrect.
No, it is.
I'm one of the original bodies.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I was body talent from 96 to 09.
So you were doing furry stuff before furry existed.
Yeah, I was doing the ultimate furry, son. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. I invented
as
furries.
Barney.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. But I mean.
No, but that was my first acting.
Was it really?
Gig out of acting school. Yeah, my first audition, my first booking, my first gig.
Wow. And so was that that was in Texas, right?
It was the world tour. That's what I
booked. So you did it on stage.
Yes, all over the world. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so I got to ask, because of the type of show that it was that considered equity?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was a well, that's a whole nother thing. Do your research on agents, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Educate yourself on what on what it is and isn't. It was a stage show. I could have leveraged it for the stage union.
Yeah.
And I was SAG after I was eligible already
Okay. Okay.
after doing that. So that
Oh,
was,
wow. Okay.
that was awesome. Working in Texas, I've not needed it.
Have you been in
So
Texas your whole life? Born and
no, I
raised?
moved here from Louisiana. I moved
From
here in '94.
Louisiana. Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, I'm
Okay.
a Cajun.
Oh, nice. Now, Cajuns do have their own language, kind of, sort of?
Look, Cajun French. Yes,
Cajun French.
yes.
Do you know any of that?
I don't know it properly. I know more regular French.
Okay. Oh,
Well,
okay.
it's hard to, unless you're around, uh, unless you're around Cajuns a lot, all the time. It's hard to understand and pick up
Right,
on
right,
that
right.
rhythm. It's
Okay.
funny. They sound a lot like Jamaicans. I never knew it until recently. To tell you the truth, there's this YouTube channel called Rock's Kitchen, and some guy from Canada found this Jamaican guy, and I mean, this old Jamaican guy, he and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I've heard that. I've heard that marble.
When did you move from Louisiana to Texas?
'94.
And was that by
I was
was that just by
18.
yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I went to a semester of college. I played soccer, and I was majoring in marketing
Oh, wow. Okay.
because I was going to LSU Shreveport. I was paying for my college, and that was about the closest thing that I was aware of that might set me up to make some money. As a career that I would want to do. In Louisiana, it was a lot of oil. Go down south and work at Calumet, work in a plant,
Oh, wow.
or
Yeah.
crawfish. Now I grew up in Houghton, outside of Shreveport Bossier. That's where Dak Prescott
Right.
from the Dallas
Right,
Cowboys.
right.
We both graduated from the same high school,
Oh,
actually.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, growing up there, there's a little more, you're a little closer to Texas and other places. So there's a few more opportunities for northern Louisiana, at least back in the day there
Right.
was. And, but after I got done with school, after I got done with the soccer season, I was over school. I was done with it. It felt like the 13th grade. A lot, largely because I knew most everyone at LSUS because they all came from the high schools that I already grew up
Right.
with. So I knew everyone pretty much, and it just wasn't. It wasn't that. I was looking for something else, and so I went home one day and I told my dad, I'm not going back to college. And he goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, I'm going to move to LA and I'm going to be a bum and try to be an actor. And he goes, "Okay, well, do you want some help?" And I went, "Yes." Oh my God. Oh God. Yes. Yeah. I was just waiting for the whole chastisement.
Right. Yeah.
What do you mean you're not going to school? You gotta get the education.
Right.
Not that my dad was necessarily, hard like that. He was kind of strict, and I know that he wanted me to get an education, but I don't think it was any surprise to many people that I went into the entertainment field to begin with. So I think my dad, when I said that to him, luckily he had worked for an advertising agency in Shreveport, Carter Advertising. And he had his own advertising agency. He went out on his own, and they had used some talent from Kim Dawson Talent Agency in Dallas, Texas. So my dad called Kim Dawson and told her, "Hey, I've got my son. He wants to be an actor, and I just want to know how if I could get him some representation." And after they stopped laughing at him, no, I'm kidding. No, they didn't laugh at him. But I was just a country
Right.
kid. I had never done anything.
Right. Oh,
Like
wow. Wow.
anything.
Right.
Like zero.
Right. But of course he didn't present you that way.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, of course he taught me.
Sure.
Of course, and thank God they didn't even let me come and interview, because that would have been super embarrassing. Hindsight being 20, I didn't know. I knew zero. So much so that I didn't know you could make a living as a working actor.
Right.
I didn't understand
Right.
that. I thought you were either, the De Niro's, famous, rich and famous, or you were poor and, hungry.
Mhm.
I didn't know there was a difference. And when we came over and interviewed with Kim Dawson's school, KD Studio, they were able to show me that some of their students and people in Dallas, do commercials. At the time, they were booking Bud Light commercials.
Okay.
Yeah. Half a day of work. Now, they certainly didn't look like me.
Yeah.
Not even when I was 18. You know what I mean? But I didn't understand. I was definitely naive, and I kind of bought their best sales pitch, which they gave me. But I did understand then that there was a way to make a living as an actor, and no one necessarily needed to know who you were. And that was all right for me. To begin with, I wasn't looking for fame, not even fortune. I just wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do and live.
Yes.
Especially being a country boy, at least that was my sensibility coming from Louisiana. That's all I really wanted. I didn't need much else. And I came over here and interviewed at the school, and they convinced me, and the student loan went through, so here I came.
Right. Right. So you were with Kim for how long at the school?
The 15-month program took me 2 years.
Okay.
I went for a semester and a half. It was a 4-semester program, and I went for a semester and a half before one of my teachers that I still talk to today, love and respect. He called me while I was still sleeping at home at my apartment one day, and he goes, "What are you doing?" "I'm sleeping." He goes, "All right, well, when you get up, come talk to me." And I just knew it was all bad, and I hated it too, because I knew I disappointed him, and I didn't want to do that. Sometimes you don't care, but I definitely didn't want to. That wasn't something I wanted to do, and I went in and I talked to him. He goes, "Look, I can't. My hands are tied. You missed too much school. I can either kick you out, or you can quit, or we can come to an agreement that you're going to take a break for a little bit." And so, boom, I was like, wow, all right, well, I'm going to take a break. Between all that time, my parents split up and divorced soon after that. After I moved, I have 2 younger sisters, and, so I took a lot of the responsibility of that. It was tough. I was still only 19.
Wow.
By myself.
Wow.
Going to school, working, paying, all of that. So, I had to take a few extra months off and regroup and come back. And, I still had some issues all the way up to the end. But, growing. I was 20. I wasn't 21 yet when I graduated.
Right.
So, hindsight being 2020, I'm like, okay, I'll give you some slack, kid.
Yeah.
Back then, I wasn't giving myself slack. I was just, bro, you coulda, shoulda, woulda done better.
Right.
But coulda, shoulda, woulda, and I'm still here. So it worked out.
Yeah, exactly.
Those sayings, what would you tell your younger self? I tell myself, relax, relax. You're on the right path. You're doing it right. You're doing it right. Relax.
So,
Because otherwise,
yeah. Right.
for me, I don't know about everyone, but for me, that I can tell you for sure that played a big part.
Yeah. Well, so obviously, being in Texas, and you finally did graduate from the Kim Dawson School, and then after that, I'm assuming you probably had some odd jobs here and there, or did stuff just start rolling for you after you graduated?
No, my first audition was the Barney audition,
Okay.
and it happened like two weeks after I graduated.
Gotcha.
I had gotten one business card from one agency, and I had just met with them and signed with them that morning when a faculty member from Katie's studio paged me, and I had to get a ride up to the school from my apartment after I'd called her back on the 7-Eleven payphone. And I went in and she said, there's an audition for Barney I think you need to do. And I was like, She goes, what do you mean, I was like, I'm not doing that. She said, why not? I said, have you seen our comedy show? And she said, yeah. I'm like, there's no way they'd want me anyway. You know, I don't think I'd be a good fit. She goes, she looked at me with these mom eyes, the same, you know, the whole time I was in school, she would just call me into the office and give me a check. It wasn't a big check, a couple $100. And go get something to eat. Will you eat something? You know, she knew that we were just, you know, she knew I was sleeping on couches and not working and just, you know, trying to be an actor and the whole thing. So when she looked at me with these mom eyes after I graduated, she goes, I think you need to do this.
Yeah.
I go, okay, fine. This is why I went to acting school, to go to auditions.
Right.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't get home from the audition until my pager went off, and it was my agent. And they said, they want to see you. They want to see you back.
Wow.
It's like, really?
Wow.
I said, yeah. I said, okay. And yeah, it took one more call back after that, because the first one was out of costume. The second one was in costume. And after that second one, I got out and I was sucking air. I mean, just... and I had that good freshman 20 on.
Yeah.
You know, so they asked me how I was doing, and I tried to say, I'm good. No problem. And they smiled at me, okay, thank you. And that was on Friday, and they called me the end of the day, at the end of the day. And they said, okay, they want to see you one more time. And you got 1 week to lose 10 pounds and get in shape.
Oh,
and they told me that directly. Right? Yeah. Now, in this day and age, you're gonna say, well, you can't talk about weight and all that stuff, but it was a health. It wasn't how I looked. It was we know you have 10 extra pounds on you that's not healthy, and you're gonna need to get rid of it so you can move that 50 pounds of fleece that sits on your shoulders. Oh, and you got to do choreography. Oh, and you got to move the mouth with your mouth and jaw.
Oh, geez.
So it was just
wow.
It was a crazy thing. So I did. I rode my bike from the apartment to school.
Yeah.
because they also sent me a video that I had to learn. I had to learn the first 5 minutes of this video from Radio City.
Mm.
And as far as I could tell, it was just Barney jumping around being silly.
Right.
Took it to a choreographer at the school, and she was like, "Oh no, they did this step ball change, Fosse,
Yeah.
great pie." Pardon me. And so I ate chicken and rice for every meal, and I rode my bike. I worked out with the choreographer in aerobics, and then she taught me the choreography as well. And so I did that for a week. I went back. I was down 10 pounds. I did the choreography. I got out of the costume, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"What's up?" I said, "How are you feeling?" I said, "I feel good." They said, "Really?" I said, "Yep." They said, "Well, you look good." I said, "Thank you very much." And they said, "All right, well, we'll be in touch." And I said, "And remember, I love you." And I got a big smile out of them, and I left.
Yeah.
And then I got hired. But then I booked it in March, and the tour didn't start until August. So it was all this. I'm gonna walk with you. You need to get some power.
Okay.
It just told me my battery is low, so I want to get some power. But anyway, yeah, we can keep talking. So yeah, I still had a little bit more time of being poor and penniless, and then all of a sudden it was like overnight.
Wow.
I had a check. I went from all my stuff was in a cardboard box. It all fit in a cardboard box, and both for efficiency, and that's just how it happened.
Right.
But then all of a sudden I was on the road. I didn't need a home. I had a suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an interesting time, but it was oh god, it was so awesome. Then all of a sudden I was on I attended the University of Life, and I got paid. And I got carte blanche. I got to be the lead in a thing, but it wasn't really there were two of us,
right,
because Barney made magical appearances and things like that, and Carrie Stinson, who's still a great friend, he had already been involved, so he knew the ropes, and he did the majority of the work in the beginning, because I didn't know what I was doing still,
right.
And while he was doing the harder part of the show, or at night, he did the harder part of the show and rested during the day. And during the day, I would go to hospitals and do the meet and greets and the room to rooms and all that. And so all of a sudden, that punk kid who was like, I ain't going to do that.
Right.
Then, dude, humility. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't aware of that sort of thing, but
it's in your face like every day.
Yeah, and I had it was great, because I got to be a part of a bright spot in their time there.
Yeah.
Some of that would be the only bright spot that they had, and some of them wouldn't leave that hospital, and burn units. I normally have a weak stomach and shy away from those kinds of things, like at all costs. And all of a sudden, and they didn't tell me. They didn't really explain. And I don't know how you can really explain it anyway. I don't know what I was expecting them to explain.
Right.
But it was just like, all right, we're going to go into this next room. And I went into this next room, and it was like, oh. So
wow,
it was a good thing I had a costume on most of the time. I can tell you that much,
dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? But it taught me so much. made me that much more appreciative
Yeah.
of what I had and what I have, and it helps me on these conventions as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
I meet some cool people that tell me great stories, and they tell me stories about Barney,
Yeah.
which is like crazy. You know, adults that are like, wait, whoa, 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 wait, what tour were you on? And I'll tell them, they're like, oh my god, my parents took me. I saw you.
Oh wow. That's
You
so
know,
cool.
so it
Yeah.
comes full circle. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it was a great experience, and I can't believe my punk self almost talked himself out of it.
All right.